What Do We Do with a Drunken Sailor is not only a song, it's a bit of a mystery, as we don't actually know. You see, back in 1539, there are incomplete records of the ventures of some rather naughty sailors belonging to the famous Mary Rose. We do have their names, though. Richard Baker, known as Scenthrop, Robert Griggs, William Oram, and Marmaduke Coleman. All great names. Whilst the ship was moored in the Thames near Greenwich, these men decided that, after dining aboard the ship, they would go down and visit the local tavern. Now, by 10 p.m, overseen with ale, the group staggered back to shore, only to discover that the boat back to the Mary Rose had gone back to the Mary Rose. Now, this left our inebriated group with a choice. Either sleep it off and face an angry captain in the morning, or find a way to get back to the Mary Rose under their own metaphorical steam. Unsurprisingly, as this story is being told by me 500 years later, they chose the latter of those two options. After a brief look around the port, they stole a boat and decided to sail back to the Mary Rose, but failed. A, because of the level of inebriation of the occupants of the boat, and B, because of the very strong currents of the Thames. What they ended up doing was going downstream and running into a Portuguese merchant vessel called St. John de Cangas. They then thought it wise to board this vessel. Obviously, our Portuguese colleagues at this particular point were not enamoured of being woken up by a bunch of drunken sailors, and so decided to fight them off by throwing stones at them. One of these stones struck Oram in the head, drawing blood, at which point Oram drew his sword and, quote, said, "Vengeance on him, here lieth a portingale," and attacked the crew with the flat of his blade. Having successfully scared the Portuguese merchants back down under the deck, they decided to help themselves to a few things by breaking open a few chests and stealing some cloth and some shirts, and also apparently a large brick of sugar. Victorious over the Portuguese, our heroes then decided to head back to land, where the next day the rest of their haul was found, dumped in the mud as they decided to leave the hot goods behind. The sailors then retired, according to Robert Griggs, to a hay barn at St. Catherine's and tarried there till about 10 of the clock next day, because he was so foul arrayed with ooze, which is a great way of saying cataclysmically hungover. The next day, heads hung with shame and beer, they made their sorry way back to the Mary Rose, presumably to an irate Portuguese merchant and a less than impressed captain. Now, we know the details of these shenanigans because they are recorded in depositions before the Admiralty Court, where formal charges were taken against the sailors. The story above comes from the testimony of the pilot and merchant of the Portuguese vessel, and from two of the sailors themselves. What we do not have is the result of the hearing, so